Hello, VIRIVERSE travelers. Chance here, your designer, and we are here to take you on a backcountry adventure into the Montana wilderness, as well as talk about resolve, a little bit about balance, and what's coming next for Viridescent and the VIRIVERSE. We are also debuting music from our featured artist, Jeff Busan, aka the Cranky Conductor. A group of brothers head into the Montana wilderness. Some blood, some chosen kinship. Nature adventures are almost always a test. This one in particular tested our resolve, resiliency, determination, but of course, by the end of it, provided us a little bit of regeneration as well. It was pouring rain before we even stepped on the trail. We had every intention of going all the way to the lake on day one, 10 miles. But at about 6 miles, Mother Nature rained us off the trail. Could not go on, so we found shelter under a giant granite rock, started a fire, spent most of the day warming up under that fire, swapping stories, listening to music, and received a visit from a trail ranger, actually, who told us that the trail up ahead a couple of miles was impassable. We had to decide, what are we going to do? Do we push on? Do we give up? Do we wait? What do we do? All right, so the sustainability lessons begin. So the past 6 months has been a really special time for the Viridescent team, and we've had a lot of fun experimenting and exploring and trying some things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. But for me, the last couple of months has started to feel like I'm trapped between a few different worlds. I've been trying to rethink and kind of rediscover my place in the world. And my old life, which was full of privilege, convenience, easy work opportunities, isn't as easy to escape or move on from as I thought it might be. And then you have my new life, which is full of creativity, freedom, and a willingness to be uncomfortable and bet on myself rather than relying upon the system. But the challenge is, it is my privilege that allows me to do this as well. Then you have becoming a father for the first time, and that in the middle of a pandemic, social instability, climate change, all this crazy stuff, and working from home for my wife and I while trying to be parents and learn how to be parents, not easy. Then there's the whole human experience. I have begun to feel guilty for the failures of our species, and particularly for my race and gender, the white dude. Furthermore, I've had to really continue to come to grips with my negative impact and actions as part of an inequitable system. That is why I left my job in the first place, but it hasn't been so easy to break free of the chains that I've been attached to for the past 31 years. Not so easy at all. Then you have the fact that we're building a virtual platform, which after 10 plus years working in the face-to-face events and hospitality industries, bringing on social media and over-sensitization, overwhelming, just crazy shit. Fuck. Everyone wants to chat and meet, and I want to chat and meet with everyone. It's exhausting. The DMing, the posting, the content creation. It's just crazy, right? And our team has been struggling with the fact that we're contributing to the noise, to the senses, to the overwhelm, and we're trying to do it in a way that feels healthy, restorative, balanced. But it isn't super easy to do that when there's just so much stuff flying at people all the time. And so we are trying to figure that out as well. So the morning brings some sunshine and a newfound energy. Our trio decides to push on. The designer, the creator, the manimal. 3 white dudes deciding to push forward into the unknown. Go fucking figure. Nonetheless, our resolve felt sharpened, and we were ready for what lay ahead. At least we thought we were. I wonder if nature's tests have proper correlations, synergies, parallels to what happens in life. Sometimes we've got to overcome, sometimes we've got to be defeated and just accept that defeat and rebuild better. And that's kind of where we're heading here for a moment, kind of embracing the reality that life is tough, the current state of the world is pretty difficult. Our first trail test of the day was not one that was expected. Walking through the dense forest, around a corner, and 5 feet away, a bull moose and I lock eyes. We jump back, he jumps back. Luckily, everybody kept their heads. Hung out, watched him, stepped away, gave him space, and he, after about 15-20 minutes, sauntered off into the trees and let us pass. This waterfall was our treat after getting past the impassable part of the trail. We don't have footage, it was too dangerous to screw with phones and cameras. We had to climb trees, scramble, scale, walk across gaps and things. It was an interesting adventure. After that, another test, a mile straight up, what we called a staircase, but we made it. We made it. The waterfall you see is running off the top of what is called Old Stormy, the mountain sitting above the lake. A lot of rain up here, a lot of snow in the winter. There is very obvious damage done by avalanches of winters past. I'll tell you, the last year has felt like an avalanche of sorts, and I've started to feel like I'm getting crushed by it a little bit. All of these crisis sort of things that we're dealing with in our world, whether it be, health crisis, COVID, cancer, pollution, the climate crisis, the planet threatening, the equity crisis, a widening poverty divide, an equality crisis, of course, unequal footing, unequal justice in life, and then you have the consumption crisis, stuff, water, food, not enough for enough people, biodiversity crisis, species going extinct. And then you have an AI crisis. Our tech is already dividing and manipulating and controlling us. So it's been a lot, and frankly, I'm a little bit burnt. And we can't help but wonder if you are too, frankly. I think everybody's a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit unsure about what this new world we're walking into is, because we're walking into the unknown. So, a big announcement with a drum roll in the form of guitar strings. I, Chance, the designer, and in part, the VIRIVERSE team, we're taking 5 weeks off, and we're giving you 5 weeks off as well. We're going to stop posting to socials. We're going to stop contributing to the overload. We're going to take a few minutes, and we encourage you to do the same in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be 5 weeks necessarily. Oh, the lake. There's that lake from a distance. But look at that. Oh. So if we look at 2021 and kind of the foundational development of the VIRIVERSE, a lot of our content has been about slowing down, recentering, rebalancing, treating yourself. Like it really has been a really strong thread in our foundation, and that's because one of our primary missions is to help the sustainability champion be sustainable. I honestly think that's been the most consistent thing for our content, and I know the content has felt a little bit scattered, a little bit broad, vague sometimes. Some of that's intentional. We haven't wanted to go too far down any particular rabbit holes, of course, but I think that the most important thing to us has been, at this time, what we see as a really big challenge and problem for people doing sustainability work and for humans in general. Too fast, too quickly working to rush back to life as it was. And certainly it has started to feel like to me and to our team a little bit that we're all missing the point. We're so excited to reshape the world, build the future we've been thinking about for so long, that we're missing the biggest thing. For us to do that, for us to build this better human experience, we've got to slow down. We've got to reprioritize and redesign our own existence. We have to figure out how to better operate in a healthy way for ourselves, how to live in balance with our family, our community, other people across the world, our economy, and our planet. We have to figure out how to live with a balanced soul. We can't just rush into rebuilding the world. And sure, maybe it'll be a little bit better than we found it before, but the whole reason we were in the situation that brought us to the brink of insanity with COVID, and of course into climate change and the racial injustice, is that we programmed this world and this human design very, very poorly. And to reprogram it, we've got to really stop and just reassess the landscape. And I know I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to anybody who's listening to this. So during this time, I personally am going to rediscover my joy for the best parts of what I've experienced in life, but I'm also going to build the strength, courage, confidence, and sharpen my resiliency and resolve in how the hell do we do it? And for me, my personal journey, Chance, short, skinny, white kid from the backwoods of Potomac, Montana. How do I contribute in a way that doesn't perpetuate the violence, the inequity, the injustice, and frankly, the fucking privilege that is given to me that clearly comes at the cost and expense of other humans? All right, it's time to wrap this up. So, society tells us we can't take a break. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep grinding. We're in the climate decade, and there's an opportunity to rebuild and re-innovate and redesign and reshape the world and all this just ridiculous stuff that, of course, we're going to get back to. But it is when it feels like you can't step away, or you're not supposed to, or you must not. Society is telling you, don't do it, keep going. That's exactly when it's time to take a break.